Hello and welcome to our viewers in Sweden, Norway, Finland, Iceland and Denmark, and in the rest of Europe. And as we expect participants in this news conference from the rest of Europe, this conference will be held in English. My name is Sten Bille and I'm Film Commissioner in Denmark, and I will be the host and moderator of this news conference. I'm happy to welcome you all to the announcement of the winner of the 2010 Nordic Council Film Prize. The nominees are Finland's Steam of Ice, Miesten Vuoro, Iceland, The Good Heart, Norway, Upper Dog, from Sweden, Metropia, and finally from Denmark, Submarino. The Nordic Film Prize is the most prestigious of its kind in the Nordic countries and is awarded to a film of high artistic quality, which is also rooted in the Nordic culture and is remarkable for its artistic originality. The prize is worth 350,000 Danish crowns and is divided equally between the film's director, its scriptwriter, and the producer. The prize was awarded for the first time in 2002 to the Finnish film The Man Without a Past by Aki Kaurismäki, and went last year to director Lars von Trier and producer Meta Louise Forlager for the film Antichrist. The Nordic Council Film Prize is administered by Nordisk Film and TV Fund on behalf of the Nordic Council, and therefore I now leave the screen to Hanne Palmqvist, who is CEO of Nordisk Film and TV Fund.
Hello and welcome. My name is Hanne Palmqvist. As CEO of Nordisk Film and TV Fund, it is my pleasure to announce the name of the winners of the Nordic Council Film Prize 2010 in a minute. The purpose of the Nordic Council Film Prize is to promote the range and diversity of Nordic films in all the Nordic countries, in order to strengthen the cultural community and to develop the Nordic region as a domestic market, and thereby as well to contribute to strengthening the Nordic films internationally. The prize is awarded to an artistically valuable Nordic-produced feature-length film, and it is divided equally between the film's scriptwriter, producer and director, which underlines that film as an art form is the result of a close collaboration between these three main functions. The winner is selected among 5 pre-selected films by a jury consisting of 1 representative from each of the 5 Nordic countries. I'm happy to announce that the Nordic Council Film Prize 2010 goes to the Danish film Submarino by writer and director Thomas Vinterberg, by writer Tobias Lindholm, and by producer Morten Kaufmann. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Fantastic.
Værsgo.
Tak, Hanne.
Værsgo.
Må vi godt sige på dansk?
Det må vi godt.
Stort.
Værsgo, Tobias. The writer.
Thank you.
And the producer. The Nordic jury motivates their choice of this year's prize winner in the following statement. Submarino is a tough but also a deeply moving story of 2 brothers who are linked together by a fateful childhood. The film is about brothers who have adult responsibility imposed upon them, and about the human child as a carrier of social inheritance, but also as a carrier of hope for a better future. It deals with themes such as trauma, guilt, and reconciliation. Submarino is a simple and yet a complex work of art with a strong manuscript and a stylish direction. An elegant, taut, and effective dramaturgy, acting present, and an intelligent use of sound and light contribute to this creation of an insightful image of human life.
Well, I'm amazed, and on behalf of producer Morten Kaufmann and writer Tobias Lindholm, I'd like to thank a lot of people, but only some of them here. First of all, of course, the Nordic Council for granting us this generous award. We're deeply moved and thankful to that. Nimbus Film for showing courage to produce this movie. TV2 Denmark for the same. Nordisk Film and TV Fund. And last but not least, writer of this novel, Submarino, Jonas T. Bengtsson. Thank you very much, all of you.
Please enjoy the trailer of the film and stay online because you have the opportunity to participate in an interview with the 3 winners and ask your own questions by email. Write your name, country and your question and send it to the mail address which is shown on your screen.
Echo start as it crosses room. Trembling noises that come too soon. Spatial movement.
Hey, det er din storbror. Jeg vil godt lige have fat i det.
Resonating mask of
Jeg troede, du sad i fængsel. Blev du løsladt, eller? Kom ud for 3 måneder siden.
Hvorfor gør du det her egentlig? Hvad?
Tjene nogle penge. Skat, du bliver simpelthen nødt til selv at gå ind i dag, ikke?
Kom og hente mig.
Jeg har styr på den, ikke? Jeg tænker ikke på dig, jeg tænker på drengen.
Far.
Jeg er ligeglad med alt andet end min dreng. Jeg leder efter min bror. Jeg vil godt snakke med ham.
Jeg tror ikke, det var vores skyld dengang. Det var en god storebror, ja.
Hvis du gemmer det her selv, og jeg gemmer det her selv, så kan vi altid finde hinanden.
Ja.
For those of you who did not have the chance to see the film Submarino yet, it is a story of 2 brothers who share a childhood tragedy that neither of them can let go and that cannot let go of them. After serving a time in prison, Nick lives in a hostel in the northwestern area of Copenhagen. He is angry, he lifts weights and drinks like there is no tomorrow and that there should be no past. Nick's younger brother is a single father trying to give his 6-year-old a safe upbringing, while at the same time hunting for his next shot of heroin. One day, Nick decides to look up his brother, maybe driven by the desire to break the vicious circle that has marked their lives in a very terrible way. As I've said, you have the opportunity to mail your questions to the winners here in the studio. All you have to do is write your name, your country, and your question, and send it to the address that you can see at the bottom of the screen. And while we're waiting for the first question, let me ask you, Thomas, and maybe you, Tobias, and you, Morten, as well. What was it about this very dark and somber story that made you want to do this movie, Thomas?
Well, it was obviously a very dark book to read. Very tough part of Copenhagen is being described here in a very realistic way. But first of all, it's a very touching and moving story that I read and fell deeply in love with. It's a story about parenthood. It's a story about 2 brothers reaching out for each other, trying to reach the surface. And it was, in a weird way, very true and still very touching. And that's why I liked it.
Tobias, you read this book by Jonas T. Bengtsson while you were still at the Danish Film School. What was your enthusiasm about?
Well, to me it feels like it's getting cold in Scandinavia these years, and the fact that a person like Jonas T. had sat down and written a book about hope on the very bottom of the Danish society inspired me a lot. So that was the first inspiration and the love of the book for me. I fell in love with the hope he actually planted in the bottom of our society.
Morten Kaufmann, was it an easy choice for you as a producer to make this movie? Because I mean, it's set in a very, very rundown part of Copenhagen with characters who have a very tough life. Was that the best movie to embark upon as a producer?
Yes, it was done together with Birgitte Hall from Nimbus Film, and she and I had were convinced that that was the right film for Thomas to do, because it's a very moving, even though it's very tough and very dark, It's a very moving story, and I mean there's maybe a contradiction in having a dark and a moving thing, but we think that's Thomas' specialty. So it was a very easy choice, actually.
We have the